All right, welcome back, guys. Got another episode of the Hill Boys podcast, another special episode out here today, joined always by Marquise Grissom and Lou Collier. But we also got Cam Collier with us today, Ryan Spikes, a couple of the original Hill Boys. Appreciate you guys coming out with us today.
Excited to be here.
Appreciate it. Well, we're going to get it started, just kind of giving you guys an opportunity to explain how you guys got started with the Hill Boys. Cam, obviously, kind of know how you got plugged in, but just how you guys got started in those early days back in 2020. So, Cam, we can kind of start with you.
Yeah, saw started from, Coach Marquise and my dad just wanting us to go get some work. And, COVID, it was my freshman year, and, it caught me in the half of it, and there was a lot of development I still needed to be done. So, my dad, we were doing what we could, getting after it. There was no fields or anything, but we decided to go on a property, and at first I was like, how are we gonna work out baseball on a property? But we figured it out, and we're here today.
Spikes.
I at first came on. I was working at Lou during COVID 2020, and I wasn't part of Hill Boys yet. But me and Lou were going out to the field, and we were just putting in work. And I didn't come on to the Hill Boys until I would say the off season of 23. And I didn't really know what I was gonna get into. I knew I was gonna put in some work, but once I got to the property, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But it's been work. We've been heads down putting in work ever since, and it's been great. I've been loving it.
And I know we had talked to Cam before about how crazy it was back whenever you guys got started, but did you kind of have that same experience of a little bit eye-opening what they were putting you guys through on the hill?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, bro, I get finished with a workout and I'll go home. And I'll be like, I'll tell my dad, I'm like, yo, guess what we just did? He be like, ain't no way you just did all that. I'm like, yeah, man, we going crazy, but, it is what it is.
I know you've talked about it before, but what were some of those early sessions kind of like? Because I feel like they downplay it in y'all's opinion.
So, it was only two of us at a time. So, I remember some days they'd be like, man, let's run 2 around the property. I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, 2 around the property. Like 1 is enough. And then the two you start cutting around the corner. You start having to take a break. And then we got 10. So now they'll go they'll put the cones out and we can run to the cone and come back. Before, we was running 10 straight to the gate. And if you've seen the gate, it's up the hill, and then it's another up the hill, and then it's another up the hill, tap the gate, and by the time you get to the gate, it's about, man, I ain't going down. So
see, I got the modified lap. I didn't get the two around. I got just the 1. And the 1 be killing me. I can't imagine what y'all was doing.
It was something.
And did you guys kind of have that planned out whenever you were first starting? Because I know it started with you guys, with D. Was that kind of the plan, is let's see how far we can push these guys and see if we can make them quit?
Yeah, it was kind of to the extreme. Me and Lou, we kind of we came up like that. That's how we worked. High school, college, pro ball, that's how we kind of connected. I seen how hard he was working, and I was like, shit, he worked just like I work. And I'm like, we got a lot in common. That's why we were so successful. Mm-hmm. And to be able to try to transfer that same energy to these guys, we just wanted to see what they had. What do they have on the inside? There's no baseball. We have nowhere else to work out. This is a safe place where we can stay our distance, and let's see what they got. Number one, you got to get in shape. That's something that we knew. And number 2, you got to be dedicated and determined to be the very best that you can be when you go back to spring training, whenever you went back. So that was 2 very important things and 2 very important aspects of the game that you had to have when you go back trying to compete. He was in high school, college. D was in college at Georgia Tech. Mike, rookie year. Spikes probably was a junior, senior in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys, it was very important that they go back in great shape, because you really don't know what you can do until you get in good shape.
Now, was that kind of the intention that you had too, is if we can put them through this, there's nothing they're going to hit in high school at Georgia Tech. If we can break them down here, once they get into that, it's almost in cruise control for them.
Yeah, but for me, with him, I was really trying to break him for real. Because he was a good player. He was kind of smelling himself. the perfect game rankings had him ranked, in the top 3, and he was getting a lot of, fake fame on social media, and I kind of seen that a little bit going to his head, and I, not that he wasn't working, but I had to really, really see if he wanted to turn that corner, because I know that it was pivotal. Those next couple of years of high school was pivotal in his development to take that next step, and that was just like a perfect way to say, you know what, either he gonna quit playing this, or he's getting ready to rise to a new level that he don't even know that he can reach. And so that's kind of was my selfish way, and that's why we used to clash, me and him, and he used to look at me like, "What are you doing?" And I should be like, "Just 10 more." So that was my reasoning behind it.
Now, do you guys feel it whenever you do show up to like spring camp? I know you guys are leaving here soon. Do you feel like it's a little bit easier because they kind of push you guys this hard during the off season?
I wouldn't say easier, but I would definitely say overly prepared. Like we go into spring, spring is used to be ramped up, and I feel like we go in there season ready, condition wise, and mentally ready to go do whatever the team has us do.
Yeah, I agree. Like what Cam said, I feel like I go into spring training like already ready to play, like ready to start the season, and that's just from all the hard work we put in.
Now, are you guys pretty competitive out there when you're working out during the off season? Like obviously they're kind of pushing you as hard as you can, but are you guys also kind of pushing each other? You don't want to be the guy that finishes in last or has to quit at something first?
Yeah, 100%. Like I really put the emphasis on that this year. I tried to reach for the stars, and I have really good examples in front of me. I'm watching Mike work every day. I'm watching a guy who went out there and won Rookie of the Year, goes out there every day and put up those numbers. So trying to push myself to go at the same pace as him, that's just gonna make you even better. So just being able to do that has been a blessing.
Yeah, man, you go out there and we get a big leaguer every year. Like you got Mike, Law, Chan, me and Cam coming up next, Nile and D. Like you just try to go out there and not stick out like a sore thumb. You try to be the best one out there. It's still a friendly competition, but we still going out there doing our best. Trying to like outdo everybody.
And do you guys see them kind of closing the gap on that? Like obviously you've got Chandler, Mike, and Law who've kind of made it, and these guys are right on their heels, but do you see that gap's closing for them to be ready to kind of take that next step?
Yeah, I do. I see it every day. And we had to mention that probably a couple of years ago. And I used to tell Cam, mainly Cam, because he was the youngest at the time, 18. Then you got some big leaguers around. I said, man, you do not let Mike, Lawrence, or none of those guys. And Mike was the only big leaguer at the time. Don't let him outdo you in nothing, because that's your competition. And he took it and owned it. You know what I'm saying? Came back the next year at 19 and very, very more mature than he was at 18. And now to see him at 20, a little bit more mature than 21, goes to that next level. And that's what this program is all about. That's what the Hill Boys is all about. And then being connected to one another to where you can push each other and trust one another. And Spike's a guy, like I said, had him at 14 playing with MGBA. I already knew what was inside of him, but I wish we could have got him a little earlier, but he came on with the Hill Boys, and he challenged everybody, from day one. And that's just a skill set. He can do a little bit of everything well, like speed. He got great speed, got a good arm, played the infield. Now he's playing the outfield. So I think that helped him. You get a chance to see Mike in the outfield, Lawrence in the outfield, Cam in the infield, he's in the infield, that he's a ball player. He can play anywhere on the field. You know what I'm saying? So I think all of those different characteristics and all the players kind of help each and every last one of them identify who they are as a player.
With how close you are, obviously, with Cam, I'm sure you can see that gap shrinking and shrinking each offseason. But now it's got to be to that point where it's really, he's basically a phone call away if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. This year he surprised me a lot. Over the last few years, myself and Mark, Coach Grip, we would, he'll give us 65%. And some days he'll go 90. And some days it's 40. And it's like, man, what is wrong with this dude? But what I realize is just, everybody takes that step when the maturity kicks in the game, forces him to. And he's accepted the challenge. Not that he wasn't working hard. He worked hard because the work forces you to do it. And so my thing was, okay, you gave us 40, okay, we're gonna do another 120, doing some other stuff. So it's gonna equal it out, you know. So we would overdo it, and he used to wonder why we got to go do this, and that. Well, you only gave me 40 on the hill, you know. But now, have we had any arguments?
No.
Have we have any? Have I said anything? Y'all know how we used to just go at it.
No.
Because I couldn't stand there and watch it because I know the potential. But this year has been totally different, man. He's 100% effort every single time, every single day. And he's going to see how that pays off for him. You know, he made the decision to go at it like that. And so he's going to benefit.
And let me say something. This dude right here is crazy. That dude right there, Lou Collier. Lou Collier. I've been knowing them a long time. And I got a son and he got a son. And what he put him through at the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I pat him on the back. I pat him on the back, man, because I seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I seen it firsthand. And I know the intent. I know what he's trying to do because I did it with my son. But to see what he put him through, then we got together. And he didn't stop. He didn't let up. Now he ain't get mad at me. He needed help. Hey, let's keep him going. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of the Hill Boys, how we can just, you know, he got 4 set of eyes on him instead of 2. And now I can say something to Cam, same thing that his dad would say, and he'll take it a different way. And I do the same thing with my sons. Lou, go over there and talk to him. Antonio, go over there and talk to him. And that impact that the whole community or the whole neighborhood have on a player is very vital and very important. So I commend Lou and Cam, right, for, again, what did he just say? When have we had our last argument? And that's the beauty of it, because now he trusts him a little bit more. He has to go out and experience the things that we're telling them first, all of them. And then they'll come back next year, we'll give them a little bit more. And that's the beauty of the game. And I think you do not get that anywhere else unless a guy done had that experience. And we can talk about it all day, but people ain't going to understand it till they go out there and have a whole full season playing, having success and failing. Mm-hmm. Then he come back and the eyes are open. And all of a sudden now the ears are open, then they listen a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. How valuable is that for you guys? I know we talked to the other guys about this, but having 2 guys in your corner, been there, done that, been in your shoes, same step every way, having them that you can kind of reach out to, having them that you're training with during the off season, like how valuable is that for you guys?
Man, I feel like it's the most valuable thing on the planet, you know, being able to have 2 top level coaches, top level mentors is, man, like you can't, man, like you can't get better than that. And to have them not only to call during the season, but have the ability to come home and work out every day and pick their brains and just learn about the things that I'll learn in the future. So when I do have to deal with them, like I already have a head start. So, man, it's been amazing.
It's amazing because, you know, like going into it, you know, they're not just helping you with just the physical, it's the mental side too. Because once you get out there into like throwing into the fire, it's a different feeling, especially coming from high school and like just knowing that you have somebody that did the same things you did, experienced the same things you experienced. It's like a different type of like relationship you kind of have with them, to where it's like, hey, like I'm going through this, I'm going through that, or they did something with me like that, they did something with me like that, and it's like, hey, like we understand you, because like sometimes, you know, you get caught up in the things and all that type of things. You can't go to your friends talking about that type of thing. You can't go some things you can't go to your parents talking about because they just didn't experience it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hey, we're the guys that can navigate you through this. And it's not the end of the world, and it's gonna be okay. Yeah. So,
I feel like the other guys have talked about too that a lot of these scenarios that they tell you that you guys are going to go through, that you end up seeing them during the season more often than not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At all times, you know, like they did it. Like sometimes, like you gotta really think about it. You know, your parents say been there, done that. Like they really been there and done that, so they know everything that's gonna happen. And once I finally mentally matured enough to actually understand that they're just not saying that, they actually did it, it opened up everything.
Yeah, literally, like, you'll go through the season and you'll experience something and you'll be like, I know exactly what's finna go, like what's finna happen. And it's crazy because it's like I know I had to mature because some things I just look at them and I'll just be like, yo, like I don't know about that one, but all right. But then I'll go into the season and that same exact thing will happen, and I'll be like, dang, like, they know it. So
Called it out.
Yeah, they called it.
Well, I'm sure it's helped build this relationship and some trust in these guys because I'm sure within your own organizations, sometimes you're wondering if guys have ulterior motives when they're telling you to do this or that. And you have a bunch of different voices in your head coming from different directions. But having these two guys that you know want the best for you guys, have your back through everything, that's got to be a different kind of relationship than kind of you see during the season with other coaches.
No, I feel like for me, like with the Cincinnati Reds, like we have a good group of guys, and I would say we have a family bond. Like we do our workouts during the off seasons. We get to see them face to face, and I think that's a good environment to go from the Hill Boys, a family environment, to go into another family environment and be able to rely on those guys. So I know I'm blessed. I know that's not how every organization is, but I'm blessed for that.
Yeah, literally same. Like, I've been blessed to be in the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Like I can't talk bad about anything over there. You know what I'm saying? Like they do the right thing. They put in the work to put into us how it is to be a professional and like how it is to do the things the Rays way. And having that in the season, and then coming to the off season, just building on that, having the Hill Boys, is like you feel unstoppable. From the mental side and the physical side. So it's just a great thing to just be able to like have that, because like Cam said, you never know what you can run into anywhere. Like the grass isn't always greener, so you just blessed to have it good first time.
Right. Yeah.
And then aside just from the coaches, but having this group of guys that you guys are around, I know during the off season you're together a lot, but even during the season, having that group that, maybe you guys are gaming at night or catching up here and there, what does that mean to you guys, having those relationships both off the field and being able to talk about what you guys are going through while you're going through them with guys that are doing the same thing?
And it's pretty cool. Like, it's always good going through like a little debrief. Like someone have a good game, and then we'll hop back on the party and like, hey man, we see you. Like, we always give our props, and it's just all love. So it's always good to have that good core group of guys and be able to, celebrate them and have them also celebrate you, and it be, 100% from the heart,
Yeah, it's funny because like we were cool before the Hill Boys, so it's it's kind of just natural. Like it's not even really like a, hey, we're Hill Boys now, we got to be friends. We were already cool before this, so it's just that much more natural, just to like gel and bond, just talk about different things.
Now, I'm sure that's also like a big motivation for you guys, that you've grown up around these guys that now have made it, Mike, Law, and Chan, and just seeing that, you are keeping up with that. Is that motivation for you guys going through the season, knowing that, they came from the same place we came from, we grew up playing together, all I got to do is just take that one next step and I'm right there with these guys?
Yeah, like, you seen the nitty-gritty. You seen the grinding. Like, you seeing the guys come up every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning. Man, this is when I wasn't even in pro ball yet. These guys were in low A. So I'm seeing their whole process, and I'm seeing their whole, journey to the league, and watching how their life changed. And man, it's just so cool to watch. And it's, like, I don't know how to put it into words, but like seeing it makes it believable. And like sometimes it can feel unattainable, but seeing people close to me to go do it, like it kind of like opens that little vault for me.
Like all types of profession, you kind of look at the very top and you're like, man, it's like crazy to see. And it just seems like it's such a far thing to get to. But once you're in it, doing it with the people, and then you see them progress and you see yourself progress, and it's like, man, like it's not really that far away as you think. You know what I'm saying? You seeing them put in the work. You're seeing them get up, go to sleep. Like you seeing them do everything. And it's like, I do the same exact things and I can do it just as good as they can. So it's like it's like a newfound respect for just the process in itself, because it's like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, maybe I can impact somebody else to be able to do it. And I feel like that's the whole mission of the Hill Boys, just impact.
Yeah, that's well said. And for you guys, I'm sure you had these aspirations whenever you started, if you look back in 2020, you didn't really know what was going to happen with this group of guys, but to see almost every single one of them taking those steps, moving forward in their baseball career and kind of living up to that opportunity that they have, that's got to be great on your side, because it could have gone the other way. You put a group of 8 or 10 baseball players together that was at their level when they get started. It's very rare that the whole group's going to be as successful as this one's been. So how special has it been for you guys to watch them kind of grow together?
Yeah, it's the whole thought behind it was just filling in the gap and just creating that environment where guys can be themselves, and be vulnerable, ask questions. Coach Grip tell them all the time, man, go at your pace. If you get tired, stop. You got to push yourself. And that's really what it's been about them pushing themselves. And I think each and every one of them realized that, it was more in the tank, that they were getting better, and that, that they started to understand the process of being a pro. And, that was the information that we was just trying to give to them and tell them about mistakes we made, things that made us excel, and just throwing it all on the table and let them chew on it and think about it and think about things that, times when they wasn't giving their best effort or when they did and the game didn't reward it, that it was still part of the, part of the journey. So I think, just seeing those things happen. And again, we didn't know which way it was going to go, but we did know that we had success. We knew things that made us successful. We knew things that was kind of a distraction. And what we try to do is just give them the good and bad and all of that. And it was some guys that was, some other guys. Cabrera Weaver was with us. Taekwon Forbes was with us. Those guys, we caught them a little bit late, and they didn't excel to the big leagues. But I think they learned too about themselves, and they understood that whatever they were lacking, is things of that nature. So, everybody's not going to make it, But what I do believe is that each and every one of these guys is going to realize what it's going to take to be a better man. It's not just about baseball. So that's what makes me happy. That's what keeps me getting up every day and going out there and being excited for them and trying to give them something new for them to think about and challenge them, because I know that it's some good at the end of that.
And that's something I'll definitely say from my perspective, is anybody that's, met this group of guys, whether it be here, going out to other places, always speaks so highly of the character of the guys that are around. So it's more than just the baseball players. It's how respectful you guys are of others, that you're willing to put time into kind of that next generation. So I'm sure that's meant a lot to you guys, watching them mature as men on top of baseball players.
It's also it's a certain standard that me and Lou tried to set. And this is on the field, this is off the field, this maturing in the game, this maturing in life. And so at the beginning, we gave it to them raw. It was raw. It was all about what we did on the field, off the field, everything that you can imagine. So at their age, when they're hearing some of the stuff that we did, you're not going to fool us. We done did probably everything all of them did combined in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of wanted to set a standard what the work ethic was like, what it's like to becoming a minor leaguer, what it's like becoming a big leaguer, what it's like getting drafted, what it's going to take to get to that next level. And as we've seen them progress to that next standard, and then all of a sudden now they have confidence, they have belief, they have great character on and off the field, and they believe in themselves and have a lot of confidence. And it's once you see that, you can begin to push a little bit more. And then once they push a little bit more and they start pushing themselves, that's the ultimate. Now you're becoming the best version of yourself. Who's going to stop that? Nobody can stop that but you. And that's where all of those guys are at right now. He might be in AA, he might be in AA or AAA, wherever they might be. But I think their attitude and their confidence level is up to where the big league level is. And that's what we want to see. And that's what we've seen this year, right? So that standard, it goes with on the field, it goes with off the field. And I think I said this the other day, you set your standards high, right? If they're high, that's the type of competition, those are the type of people that you stay around. If they're not up to your standards, you got to move on. You know what I'm saying? When the space shuttle goes up, it drops off pieces, and on your way up, you may have to drop some people off as well.
From a player's perspective, how does this offseason work and working with the Hill Boys in general help prepare you guys when you're taking those next steps, whether that be from, single A to double A, whether it be getting a new role within the team? How much more prepared do you guys feel moving into those steps after working with these guys?
I feel like those type of changes, I feel like they're all mental. I feel like the jump up levels is really how can you mentally prepare to face this competition? Yeah, it's gonna be better, but at the end of the day, like he always say, they always say, you're the same guy. Like they always say, you're capable. He said, like my dad said, you're capable of playing in the big leagues right now, but are you mentally capable? I'm not yet. I will be though, because now I'm putting in the effort and the work to get there, and now I'm listening, and I'm writing stuff down that I can go back and look at and think like, all right, let me look back at this. Let me finally understand that I don't have to overthink this. That it's only a game. Let me get back to the basics and just continue to move forward.
I think the preparation is there. I feel like I'm there now. And like I said before, we kind of see the guys that's made it, and seeing them go from like where we all started, and then getting to the big leagues, that's the whole thing. Like, you see the preparation going up, and like I said before, we're doing the same things. We're putting in the same work. We're going just as hard. So when the club asks me to, hey, do you want to play outfield? Do you want to play infield? Do you want to pinch run? Do you want to pinch hit? I'm already ready because I've built the resilience in all season just to be able to know that I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing. I'm ready. So bring it on.
Yeah.
Does that confidence bleed over into in-game situations too? Like, you kind of hearing these voices in the back of your head, maybe it's during a struggle or something like that, where some other players that maybe aren't as mentally prepared in the off season kind of fall off and focus on that negative. I know that these guys kind of help you guys, either you win or you learn kind of situation. Do you guys feel that in-game situations?
Yeah, I feel like it's like once you can turn off that little voice in your head that's giving you doubt, I feel like you take off to the next level. And I feel like that's something I try to preach to my teammates and try to help them with, and have those guys help me with it, because sometimes I'm gonna get vulnerable. Like, sometimes I'm gonna be 0 for 20 and I'm gonna think like, man, am I really this? Am I really that? And I feel like back to what we said about this offseason, that I finally gotten to the point to where that little voice won't come back, because I have the work that I can always go back on and just think about, man, I did that extra 20 reps, I did that extra 5 reps, I got up that extra day to know that in this moment that I can overcome it, And I feel like I'm going to just try to help my teammates and preach as much as that is possible, so that, we can all have that mindset, because if we all have that mindset, we're going to win.
You see it all the time. Like, it gets late in the season. People start getting tired. People start, doubting themselves. People start saying, like, hey, bro, I'm tired. I want to go home. And it's like, that's what the thing that separates the good from the great is the mind, like the middle part of it, the confidence, the resilience, like I said before. And I experienced a lot of that last year, because there were times I was getting bounced around. There was times where I was like, bro, what are we doing? What's happening? But the preparation, like I said before, from the off season, from just going through different things in my own career, I'm just like, bro, I can do anything. You know what I'm saying? I played through a broken hand last year. That's not nothing. I feel like nothing can stop me, because if I put my mind to it, I'm gonna do it. If I say I'm gonna do it, I have to do everything it takes to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's no other way, and that's just the way I live my life. And some people might say hey, bro, you moving like a robot, but it's like, I got a goal and I'm trying to get to it, and I'm not gonna let up until I get to that goal. And that's a separator, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a lot of people. I'm not gonna say a lot of people, because a lot of people do have it, but there's like I said, there's a difference between good and great. And if you want to be great, you have to do the things that great people do.
Yeah, like he said moving like a robot. What you want me to move like? You want me to move like you? That's how I always think. I'm like, don't say I'm moving like a robot because I'm moving differently. Like, maybe I'm moving to get to my goal because isn't our goal the league, or is our goal to act like you? You know what I'm saying? That's just how I think at the end of the day, and that helps me move forward too.
And I know you guys are keeping up with all their games and watching as much of them as you can. Is it one of those things that you guys have had to learn to try to take a step back and let them go through these situations and not, call them right afterwards and try to give advice to kind of let them grow and learn on their own a little bit?
Yeah, this whole journey is, it's different from when I played, watching him and watching all those guys. It's a time where you just got to let the game teach them, and it's a time where you got to talk to them, when you see them making the same mistakes over and over and over, or a little bit lack of effort, or you hear them making excuses. If I hear him making excuses, I don't wait. I'm going right there. But, it's a tough game. It's tough, man. This game is hard. It's not easy, so I never forget that part. But I always want to remind them that there's greatness inside them. We saw it already. So to keep them motivated, to keep them thinking about not the struggle, but just keep going. Don't quit. You all right. We all needed that. We all needed that from somewhere. And like Spike said, parents don't understand that struggle. Your friends don't understand that struggle. You need somebody who's been there, who's for you too, to really sit back and be like, it's okay. Or you know what, man, you better than that. Whatever it may take at that moment. So it's a little bit of give and take. I'm learning a lot, with him. Like Coach Gill said, I've been kind of like, but I've learned over the last couple of years just kind of bag off.
Not kinda. You ain't never been kinda. You've been kinda. No, you you that all the time.
But
and I love it though because it works. Yeah, it works. I ain't mean to cut you off.
No. I mean, so I'm learning, and it's hard. It's hard. I'm a fan of the game, and now there's people out there I care about. So I want to jump on the field sometime. Like, hey man, what the, So that's just how I feel about it. And so, but it's fun to watch. I find myself, like I said, I'm screaming at the TV. I'm going through the count like the 3-1 right here, man. Look for the little breaking ball. You know what I mean? Talking to the phone, And sometimes he'll tell you, he's like, you watching count? Like, I can't look. I can't watch it. I ain't gonna watch. He watching. I'm like, what happened? So that's just how I am. So I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better.
I'm sure that's a learning curve though for you guys because you have sons that are playing now, and these guys have all become family for you. So I'm sure your natural instinct is like want to jump in, give them advice, give them guidance, but maybe this is a better situation for me to kind of back off a little bit.
Yeah, it is extremely tough. So my experience was with D was at Georgia Tech. So I kind of, Lou going to see Cam high school. I'm watching D at Georgia Tech, and I know exactly how he felt. I'm like, how could you throw that pitch? It's right over the plate. You ahead 1-2, and you threw a fastball right over the middle of the plate. And I'm just like, how could you do that? So I can understand how Lou felt when he was watching Cam. Right. Now, I went to that first spring training game. Not spring training. We was in
Port St. Lucie,
and went to go watch Cam play, and that's the first time I seen him like want to get up out of his seat and go crazy, like you said, want to jump down on the field, and so I was like, okay, this is what has to happen. He has to back off because it reminded me of me. What did I do in that situation? So I just accepted it. It's like we can help them, but we can't save them. They have to go experience a whole season of pro ball, whether it's A-ball, and get everything they can out of that experience and better themselves on the field and off the field and learn from their mistakes. The next year is going to be different because you may be in AA. It starts all over again. We can't save them. We can help to prepare them and give them a lot of information that they're going to experience. And I think that's where we're effective at, giving them the experience they get ready to go experience. Then they have to go through it. Then they come back and we can feed them a little bit more. Yeah. And that has to happen with a relationship through a relationship and people that they can trust and that really, really care about them. And that's one thing they do know, that when we first started, I'm like, I'm not finna spend 4 hours out here with them if they ain't about getting better and working and listening. If they're not gonna do that, I'm not doing it. Me and Lou kind of both said that. But from day one, that's what it's been like. When we started with D and Cam, that's what it's been like. Those guys that came on, that's what it's like. That's why that Hill Boys niche is so small, because they have to. Any other guy that comes has to be on the same wavelength and the same scale and level as these guys are. So one guy can't come in and wreck the train. And that's why it's so special.
And so being around that kind of group of guys, and it's a very small knit group of guys, how does that help you guys when you are approaching your off season? Has anything kind of changed over the past 5 years? Are habits getting a little bit easier to form and things like that during the off season that kind of help prepare you whenever you're going into the season?
Like you're saying, like, is there any little things I've learned from being in a small niche group over these couple of years?
Well, yeah, that and just like your general approach to the off season. So I'm sure, there's certain players that kind of slack off during the off season, and then you look at this group and you guys are doing quite the opposite. You guys hit the ground running, you give your bodies a little bit of time to rest, and then you guys ramp it up quick. So has that kind of changed the way that you approach all your off seasons working with these guys?
Yeah. Like, for instance, like for me this year, man, I ain't want to take no time off. Like, I have been telling them during the off season, man, I'm like, I can't wait for the off season. I can't wait to get home and get to work. Like, I can't wait to take it to the next step. And I feel like some off seasons are going to be different. Like, my first off season ever, like, I kind of was chill, laid back, thought it was sweet. And like you said, you got to go through that 1 year minor league and to really figure it out and understand how the game is. And that next off season, I came back and went to work. So just being able to do that in a small group like that, and the tier of the guys, like I feel like it would have been harder for me to push to that next effort if I wasn't looking at Mike Harris or Coach Marquise Grissom or my dad or Spikes or Law, like, because like I'm chasing them. Like, the guy on my level, it's like, all right, I'm better than you. Then what's pushing me, So being able to have guys that are pushing me forward, it's been great.
Yeah, I agree. Like, coming off the season, you already know what you need to work on. It's just we take it to another level. We just add intensity every year, every day, honestly. And it's like, I'm coming in, competing against them, and they're at an intensity that's way above anybody. So it's like, like, either you either get better or you get worse. And I'm not finna get worse. It's gonna keep on going.
Yeah. And so have you seen it kind of progress since those early days in 2020? Has it got, I guess not easier is not the word to use, but has it become easier for you to like implement these things during your off season because you know that this work has started to pay off? It's paying off for you guys personally. It's obviously paying off for the guys that have already made it. So has that kind of become a little bit easier to put into your habits, I guess, as you move into the season?
Oh, 100%. Like he says, like what works, you need to continue to do it, and put an emphasis on continue doing it during the season, not just working hard and taking it to the next level for a whole off season and then going into the year and slowing down. Like, continue to keep going, because, man, if you do a whole year all of this, you're really gonna go to the next level. So
yes, of course. Once you see success, you should want to go harder. Like, if you experience some success and you don't want to reach for more, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
You want to be great.
Once you experience it, you want to go that much harder, and it's not even really that much of a decision, honestly.
Has this been a noticeable difference for you guys? Obviously, seeing these mindset. I know we talk about the 5 inches between the ears being the most important thing now because they've got the physical capabilities, but I'm sure you guys are seeing it year after year now that mental game's just getting stronger as they move forward.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to that, for me, is once they see themselves getting better, they want to work harder. That's the whole goal. Mm-hmm. It's just to pull out what's inside of them. We see it. You do it one time, I see it like, okay, I know that can impact the game. I know, you know what I mean? It's just about the consistency of, can you do that on a consistent basis? Because that's what a big leaguer is. You get what I'm saying? So that's why we push. That's why I was angry. That's why we leveled it up. That's why we make them challenge each other. You know what I mean? That's why we have the word of the day, because we got to keep stimulating your mind and get you to understand, like, not one time. You can do it 10 times. You know what I mean? Or whatever, however many times we set. And then, okay, we said 10, but are you going to do 15? It's like he said, good or great. Which one you want to be? You know, so we lay down the blueprint, right? And we're going to hold him accountable, me and him both, because it's just about excellence. You know, he played 18 years. I played 8 years at the major league level. It was hard. Every day was hard. It was hard. It was difficult to get there and stay, and all the ups and downs of, you know, being a big leaguer. We already know what that is, so we're not gonna let them make excuses about nothing, because that's waiting on you. You know, and they all want the same thing. So we try to provide that and just hold them accountable. But the fact that they're saying that they see themselves getting better, and once they get better, they want to work a little bit harder. Okay, that's going to translate into the games. That's going to translate against their competition. That's going to translate when they have these ups and downs, you know, off the field or whatever it may be. Because what's the main goal? I'm trying to get to the highest level. I know I'm getting better. I got to keep pushing. So that's rewarding for me, man. That's why I got into this space, the development space, because a lot of things that I felt like I was missing, that I learned on the way out, it's like, if I learned that 10 years ago, you know, and it's just package it up and like, you know, I'm going to pass it on.
And I feel like that started to trickle out into professional baseball. People are starting to know who the Hill Boys are. You'll hear people mention in interviews and things like that. So do you guys feel responsibility to kind of play at a certain level, to carry yourselves at a certain level, to represent what the Hill Boys are and what you guys have kind of built out?
Yeah, most definitely, because the most important thing for me and what I love about the Hill Boys brand is that, like, we're going to be the role models for the next generation of baseball players. And I feel like that's the most important thing, having a role model that you can look up to and see every day at the highest level. Because I know for me, like one guy going to a college, like, it became my dream school. And one guy playing at the highest level for one team made me want to become a big leaguer. So being able to be those guys for the younger guys, especially from where I come from, back at home, being able to play for those guys, man, I feel like that's what I want to show, and that's how I want the Hill Boys to be shown to the public.
Yeah, because it's a lot of things you're representing, believe it or not. You're representing yourself. You're representing your name on the back of your jersey, the front of your jersey, your family, the Hill Boys, the people that look up to you that are older than you, the people that look up to you who are younger than you. Mm-hmm. So it's a different type of feeling when you put it in terms of representing, because it's not even like a represent. It's just a standard that you just want to continue to grow on, mm-hmm. Because we wouldn't be in this position if we weren't already doing that. We wouldn't be in this position if we weren't already trying to set the standard for the next generation, or trying to set the standard for ourselves and trying to build upon what we've been working on for our whole lives. Like, I won't be nervous to do that because I've been working my whole life to doing it, you know?
And it's, again, you guys mentioning trying to be role models for the youth, because, you know, trying to help people that may be coming from where you came from, that it seems like, you know, becoming a professional baseball player is so far away and out of grasp. Do you guys have any advice for those younger kids that are looking up to you guys? You've become these role models. Just maybe even if you could give yourself advice when you were 10, 11, 12 years old, do you guys have something that you can kind of give to them to help them keep moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I know one thing I always said that I would say to my younger self is that don't fight it, man. Just go work, man. Find happiness in the work and find a goal. Because when you find a goal to reach, or you find a why, I'm really big on a why. Once you find your why, then nothing else will matter. Like, your work will start taking to the next level. Your mindset will start taking off. So just find your why and make sure you respect your coaches and listen to the people that's trying to help you.
Yes, bro. Like, continue to stimulate your brain. Just find some people in your life that you admire their work. Find some players that you like the way they play, but you like how they are as a person as well. Because if they're doing it the best out of the whole world, why not try to be like them? Why not try to represent your life or your game after that? just continue to just try to be a great person. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are on the field. If you're not a good person, it can end just like that. So, that.
Yeah, I mean, we see it just when we had, you guys out there with the junior Hill boys, that you guys are their role models now. We see it from even on social media, these kids are posting stuff, reposting things about you guys, about the Hill boys and how it's motivating them. And I think that's really special about this group of guys is that each one of you are really focused on that and trying to be a good role model for the next generation. And I know that's got to be special for you guys to watch and see that that's so important to them. And that's kind of what this whole thing's all about.
Yeah, so, when we first started, it was all about that. It doesn't just come with them guys trying to make it to the big leagues. Of course, that's the ultimate goal, but to be a big league person. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a big league person, and that's what the teams are looking for. They're looking for character. They're looking for dependability, liability, right? They're looking for guys who's going to work hard and going to make them look good as well. And you have to have all these components together to make it to that next level. That's even going to college. But these guys are on a whole nother different level. Again, like I said, on the field and off the field with great character. And a lot of that has to do with the information that we've been giving them on our character. I wasn't the best guy when I first started. I had a bad attitude when I first started playing baseball, the first 3 years in baseball, where I wanted to, MF everybody, because that was just me. I felt like I was being challenged all the time. I felt like I had to be perfect to get to the big leagues, and then I had to be like the best. If I wasn't the best, then I was talked about. And so that kind of motivated me too, but I had a bad attitude about that. Why just me? You ain't saying the same thing about everybody else, but why you singling me out? So we had to explain that to them in a different way where they can't use it as a disadvantage or an excuse. They have to use it as motivation to keep going. And I think that's some of the things that kind of really separate us as a group and as a unit. And you have to own that. These guys got to own that, and you got to, like they say, you got to want that smoke. That's part of your makeup. That's who you are. And you have to be a leader in that aspect here in the state of Georgia, Atlanta, where you got so many other little kids that are looking up to you all the time because there's so many players here. And that's something that they just have to own and be responsible and accountable for. And I think they're doing an excellent job at it.
Absolutely. So is there anything, we'll kind of wrap up with, going into the season, I know you guys are leaving for spring here soon. Do you guys have any goals that you're kind of working on this season? I know obviously the ultimate goal is to make it to the big leagues, but are there any kind of smaller things that you guys are focused on moving into the season, moving into spring camp?
Yeah, I know I have a big goal in mind, of course, is to reach my goal, but one goal I know that I need to get better at is just becoming a better teammate, just being a better clubhouse guys, realizing that it's just not about me. Like, this is a team game, and being a good teammate wins championships, and at the end of the day, that's what I want to win. So just to be a better clubhouse guy, just to be an all-around better guy in the community and just become a better role model.
Yeah, being a great teammate. Cam, Mike, they say they're trying to be rookie of the year. I'm coming for it too. I might not make opening day, but like I said, I'm gonna make the minimum plate appearance. I'm getting there.
That's real. Y'all gonna see.
Y'all gonna see. That's my goal.
See.
That's awesome.
Well, you guys have been doing awesome. We wish you guys nothing but health going into this season. I know that's a big part because you guys are ready for it, ready for the next level. So, be sure you guys are following along. We're going to try to get some more behind-the-scenes stuff this season with these guys, get a little more access to them. But thank you guys for joining us today. I appreciate y'all coming up here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Perfect.
I wanted to say something about these guys, man, and I probably should have, because I don't know how deep this is or how far it is from success. Like when I talk about success, these two right here, right, and I watched it over the last 3 or 4 years. I watched them go at it. I watched Cam. I done jumped Cam ass plenty of time too, and said some shit that hope that stuck. and the same go for him too. But to see their relationship and see him mature the way he done matured the last 18 months, it should be applauded, Cam. But I know it's still too early to applaud because I know you still got work to do, and you got a big year coming up, and there's a lot of pressure. But if you just stick to what you know now, at 21, nobody's gonna be able to stop you. Because see, y'all feel the same. Because he got smoke blowing out his ass, and his nose, and that's 3 years straight where he been getting it from me and Lou, and he's gonna keep getting it till he leave here, right? And I expect them to be able to hold their own at a whole nother level going forward for the rest of their career. And I say that and I mean that because it don't happen that quick like that for an African American kid. Especially got a daddy that played in the league, and then there's a lot of pressure, and then for him to mature the way he done matured, that's what I'm most proud of. And then for this dude to come up and work the way that he worked hard last year. I mean, he worked hard the year before that. Last year he worked a little bit harder because he get more information, get more confident. Then he goes out and experience another year. Then he come back this year, man. It was like me and Lou said it from the first day. Man, I'm like, shit, what is this? These guys they are working with a purpose and with intent. And it lasted 3 months. And we got a couple more days to go with him and 2 more weeks to go with him. And we're going to go to the end. So big ups to y'all too, Spikes. It's going to be an unbelievable season. And I'm just glad to see him take a step back. Shit. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, he can take a step back and take a deep breath. Now enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? He can enjoy the game. Hopefully he'll be able to watch this year. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's doing good, he's going to watch. Yeah.